Do you ever wake up feeling like there is nothing in your control and that you just have no idea how you're going to make this day a positive day? Well, I'm so excited that you are here because we are going to be diving into the two things that are in your control every single day. So let's get ready for today's episode. Hey, welcome to this week's episode of the Fit and Healthy Show. We are going to be diving into the two things that are in your control every single day. And right off the bat, we're going to dive into what those two things are. If you haven't gotten the chance to know who I am yet, just want to introduce myself. My name is CJ Werkamp. I own actually the Fit Body Bootcamp locations here in Sioux Falls, and I am on a mission to inspire fitness and change lives every day. So I am so glad that you are here because today I get the opportunity to hopefully inspire you and maybe even change your life a little bit today. The two things we're talking about, friend, are number one, your attitude, and number two, your effort. You see, it doesn't matter what you might be going through in life. When you wake up, those two things are always in your control. You can always control your attitude, and you can always control your effort. Sometimes it might not feel that way though. And you start going throughout your day and you start to feel that, man, there is nothing going good today. There's all these situations around me that are going on. I'm dealing with all these obstacles and I just don't know how I'm going to make today a great day. And what I want to encourage you is to remember the two things that are in your control. It's your attitude and your effort. Even if you're dealing with a hard situation, or if you're dealing with something where you just don't know how there's any way a positive outcome is going to be what results from the situation at hand, you can still go into it with the best possible attitude. Now, that can be much easier said than done, and I understand that. I definitely get that right now you might even be thinking like, great, that sounds all dandy. But how in the moment do I do it? And I can tell you this, it's not a light switch. You don't just flip the switch and next thing you know, no matter what obstacle or what issue you're going through, you just go into it with a good attitude and all the effort in the world. It's kind of a dimmer switch. It's one of the things where if you can just work on it today a little bit by trying to have the best attitude possible, then you can start stacking on that to next thing you know, you start attacking all obstacles with the best attitude. And the way to do it is this. What I've found is so many people, they actually don't respond to situations, they react to them. And when you react to the situation that you're going through, that's when you usually go into it with a bad attitude and kind of the wrong effort. But if you can take a second, and the day and age that we live in, so many things are just instant. They're automatic. It's at your fingertips and it needs to be fast. It needs to be now. We all want that instant success in whatever we're dealing with. But what that does is it stops us from responding and it turns us only into reacting. And what you need to do is when you're dealing with a situation, when you're dealing with an obstacle, when you wake up feeling like nothing is going well today, I need you to take a second and think about what's actually going on. What things are truly at play? And then think to yourself, okay, how can I respond in a way that's going to push me towards the outcome that I'm looking for? Because if you can then respond in that way, you then normally bring the right type of effort with it. And so I really want you to take this away from today is, am I reacting to situations or am I responding to them? Because if you're reacting, you're more than likely not going into it with that right attitude and the right effort. And the attitude and the effort, those are always in your control. You can't always control what's going on around you, but you can always control the attitude that you bring into the situation. If you're dealing with a very tough situation, I want you to think to yourself, okay, this is a tough situation, but how can I have a good attitude? And there's a whole nother show actually that's going to be talked about with what we just said, dealing with your subconscious, but asking yourself, how can I questions rather than why can't I questions. It taps into that subconscious mind. And next thing you know, your mind goes to work on figuring out how can you respond with great attitude and great effort. And a lot of times it's just slowing down a bit. Life seems to be getting so fast and everything is just moving at 100 miles an hour around us. Everything is starting to just go so quick that we really aren't taking the time to fully look at all the different angles of what's actually happening here. And when you can do that, that's how you can then have the right attitude with the right effort. And so let's dive into the effort part, right? We kind of tackled a little bit about how you can have a better attitude, and that's really making sure that you are responding and not reacting. Most of the times when you react, it's an emotional reaction, and you let whatever that feeling is, whatever the feelings that you have, your emotions kind of come out in a reaction. But a lot of times when you respond, it's you've felt the emotion, you've dealt with the emotion, and now, regardless of the emotion, you can respond in a way that's going to push you towards success. So moving on to effort. And this actually really ties in well with health and fitness journeys because a lot of times we hear, hey, the biggest part of the battle is just showing up. And while that might be true, it's also true the amount of effort that you're putting in when you show up. So yes, good job for showing up, and that is amazing. And we should be thankful and grateful and proud of ourselves for showing up. But we need to ask ourselves, are we showing up and giving max effort? Because if you're not giving max effort, you're actually leaving results on the table. And so when we relate this to our exercise, and remember, your effort, wherever you're at, if you're just starting a health and fitness journey, if you've been on one for a while, your effort is going to be different than the next person's. So we're not comparing our effort to anybody else's. We're not. And so I want you to understand that. It's not about if that person is doing this much, am I matching that? And that's the only way that it means I'm giving max effort. It's about your own personal effort. Can you give a little more? And so when we talk about effort and we talk about really figuring out if we are giving the most effort and the best effort possible, you always ask yourself is, how can I give more? Because if you ask yourself that, how can I do one more squat? How can I do one more push-up? Then what happens again, and we're going to dive into that episode down the road, but we're going to tap into that subconscious mind, and your mind is going to start going to work for you to figure out the ways that you can do one more. How can you just do one more? There's an awesome book out there by Ed Milet called The Power of One More. I believe that's the title of the book. And it's just about understanding you always have a little more in the tank. And the human body is so capable of giving so much effort, but a lot of times it's our mind or it's our mental blocks that hold us back from giving that max effort. And so the challenge to you is, are you showing up and giving everything that you can? And the hard part, and now I want to, obviously we've related it to your health or your fitness journey a little bit, about showing up and making sure that you're showing up and putting out the max effort. It's not just about going through the movement. It's about going through the movement and pushing yourself. Because the body only changes when you break it down, you force it to understand that it can do more. Like if you think about the mile, right? Like running a mile. Back in the day, a 4-minute mile, like no way, no how, no, there was no one, you couldn't do it. But then all of a sudden, it's like, hey, somebody did it. And it's like, then you realize it could be done. So then people started pushing themselves harder, bringing more effort into their training. And next thing you know, There's so many people now. I'm not one of them. So let's just make that very clear that I'm not one of them that can run a 4-minute mile. I actually ran 2 miles today, and normally I don't run. So let's put that out there. Not a runner. Don't think there's anything wrong with running. It's just not my jam. But today I ran 2 miles. We're getting ready for the Murph. And so I wanted to get some miles in, and I haven't ran in a while. So my miles for 2 miles, I hit 21 and a half minutes for 2 miles, so about 10 and a half minute miles. But there's so many people out there now that can hit 4-minute miles, and it's because they put in more effort to their training, and now they're getting better results. So the more effort that you put in, the better results you're going to get. And so that is just a super awesome way to think about it is, holy smokes, like I showed up. Yes, that's half the battle. Great. Now let's put in even more effort to make sure that we get the results we desire. We're already here. Let's use our time. So I want to relate that, though, to kind of my work-life, quote-unquote, balance. And the reason why I want to do that is because what I've realized, I've owned FitBody now 8 years. We're almost at 8 years, May 11th. So actually, by the time this episode is released, we've already passed our 8-year mark. But what I've realized along that journey is my family, they can see the effort that I put in over the years to grow FitBody, the amount of time and energy that I put into that business. And then they also see the effort that I put in to them. So they see me getting up early, working all day long, coaching all the sessions back in the day when it was just me running the gym. Back when I started the gym, I didn't have any team members at all. I was the only coach, the only staff member, if you will, for 15 months. And I did everything on my own, and it was miserable. Like, I don't even know if there's that many syllables in that word, but for me, there are that many syllables because it was awful. And my family, though, they seen that. At the time, I had my wife, our 2 daughters, and our son was a newly born little dude. And the thing of it is my wife seen how much effort I could put into the gym, how I could be so tired, but somehow flip that switch and just give more energy, give more effort. But then I'd come home and I'd be, quote unquote, tired. I couldn't play the games with the family. I couldn't go on the walks and do the things with the family that they wanted to do because I was tired. And they see that. And so my wife seen how much effort I could put into something and how much non-effort I was putting in. That really started affecting our marriage because she knew, and she would never say this because she's an amazing woman, but she knew that I could give more effort, but I wasn't at home. And so then how does that make her feel? That makes her feel that this gym, this business that I'm growing is so much more important than her because I can be running on literally empty, no more energy, and somehow out of me I can pull this effort. But when I get home, and it relates to the family, I couldn't do that. So for her, my effort was not being matched at home. And so when you think about attitude and effort, if those are the 2 things that you're in control of, how are you showing up? And are you giving as much effort to the things that matter? My family matters to me, but the effort that I was putting in, it didn't match. And so that's another takeaway right now. Do the things that matter to you, is the amount of effort that you're putting into them, does it match the importance in your life? Because I'll be the first to admit there has been times in my life where my effort that I've been putting out did not match how important that thing was to me. So if it's important to you, you will understand that you are in control of your effort, you are in control of your attitude, and you can give a little more. And so with all that to be said, I want you to make sure that you understand no matter where you're at today, whatever you're going through, you have the ability to control your attitude. You have the ability to control your effort. And I want to encourage you. I want to empower you. And I want to just challenge you to give as much effort with the best attitude as you go throughout your day-to-day. Because those are the 2 things that no matter what are in your control. And it just matters. Because your attitude and your effort, they directly dictate your outcome. Nobody else's attitude, and that's another thing, we could talk about this. Nobody else's attitude affects your outcome. But a lot of times we allow it to. But remember that, we allow it to. Are we allowing someone else's attitude, someone else's effort to dictate the outcome or the results that we're after? Because if we are, understand this. You're not in control of their attitude. You're not in control of their effort. But you, my friend, are in control of your attitude. You are in control of your effort. So go today and give all the best effort. Have the most amazing attitude because it matters. And your results are relying on it. And so I hope that somehow today you have found a little bit of encouragement to have a little better attitude, to give a little more effort, and to realize that when you do give more effort with a better attitude, it's a fact, you're going to get better results. So thanks so much for being here today. This is an amazing journey that we're on together. And really, this only can be what it is. The Fit and Healthy Sioux Falls podcast will only be as successful as we make it together. So what I need to know is I need to know your feedback. Like, did you get any value today? If you're watching this or listening to this on a platform where you can comment down below, I want you to comment down below. If you can subscribe or like or do whatever the thing is that you can do on whatever platform you're watching this on, please do that. That's how I know that you're getting value from this show. Share this episode with a friend that, hey, I've decided that after watching this episode, I'm going to give more attitude. I'm going to give more effort and I'm going to get better results. And I want you to as well. So share that with a friend and just know that it is my goal to help you live the best life through health and fitness, because through health and fitness, I have found more confidence. I've been able to live happier, and I've been able to realize that through that, together, you and I, we can make so many more lives better. So that is the goal. So like, subscribe, share this episode, and just know that I appreciate you being here. It means the world to me. And we'll be dropping more episodes. So make sure that you get on the notifications, turn them on so that you get that notification, and just realize that you, my friend, are in control of your attitude. You are in control of your effort, and it's up to you at the success that you get today by how much effort you put in with what type of attitude. Make it a great day. Know that I appreciate you. And if you want to stay connected, just check out all the links in the description. You can try out our gym. You can stay connected with me. Shoot me an email. But check out siouxfalls.fit to stay up to date with all the new up and comings for the Fit and Healthy Sioux Falls show. Have an amazing day, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Bye, guys. Peace.